everyone. Very good morning to you here from the Spice Isle. Yes, that's what they call us. Some call us pure Grenada. Um, I'm George Grant, and thanking you so much for joining us for today's edition of Good Day Grenada. It's Friday morning. Another weekend ahead of us. Certainly hope you've got some good plans. Get some rest. Spend some time with our God. Let's be thankful. Pilgrims, this morning, we're going to be taking a look. This is very short, very brief, but we're going to take a look at some advice for mums and dads, mama and papa, from our friend out there in Carriacou, good old John. Always good to hear from you, sir. And then we're going to take a look at something that happened in the Senate at this past sitting of the Senate. The Senate President lets loose on the Ministry of Finance. Can you believe that? Yeah, yeah. He's fair. He's fair. And then we have the national report for you. And then we're going to wrap it up with another look at something that went on in the Senate this week. Same old, same old. You know, I look forward to the day when I can sit here and say to you, oh man, aren't things great in Parliament these days? Huh? When I talk about things, I'm talking about the behavior of our people, the people we elect and send to the Parliament to represent us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, you know, I am an eternal optimist, I guess you might say, and I'm hoping that in due course we'll see some change. Anyhow, let's get right into today's edition. Um, our friend out there in Carriacou, who's probably watching us already this morning, good old John. John sent me a little snippet a couple of days ago, which I'd like to share with you. It's very short, but very sweet, and it's advice which I think is very important for mums and dads to listen to. Kids today are accused of being very disrespectful. Disrespectful. Mm? And essentially, what John is saying here, and let me quote this. He says, respect is taught at home. If your child is a disrespectful little brat, it's your fault. Not society's, not music, not video games. Yours. Told you it would be short and sweet. There you have it. That's what John is pointing out to us, folks. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Now, apparently, the Ministry of Finance ticked off the President of the Senate this past week at the recent hearing, the recent sitting of the Senate, by having the sitting get underway without, hear me, without copies of the budget being presented to him nor members of the Senate. That wasn't nice, was it? Well, it's not the first time this type of thing has happened, okay? I remember the days when I used to march down to the Trade Center to broadcast the sittings of the Senate. So often you had members of the opposition claiming that they had either not received certain documents or they received them too late. Okay? Well, you know Senator Humphrey. He launched into them at this past week's sitting. And when I say them, I'm referring to the Ministry of Finance. Check this out.
Mr. Clerk, I really want this to be read into the records. The budget speech is a very important document because it pulls together several strands of what the estimate and expenditure is and gives an overview and contextualizes the allocations within the big budget document. It's an important part of the process. And for the Ministry of Finance to fail to provide legislators with copies of that budget speech is totally unacceptable, disrespectful. So I sit here, there are some senators who are quoting from sections of it I'm unable to follow. I mean, this is totally unacceptable. Public officers must take their jobs seriously. This is the lawmaking body of the state of Grenada, and we cannot be treated with this degree of contempt. Here we are, debating a very important, references is made to quotations and things said by the Minister of Finance. And the presiding officer is unable to follow because no copies of the documentation was provided to members of the House, I'm told. So, Clerk, I hope that this situation is immediately remedied, and at 9 in the morning, in the forenoon, that every member be provided with a copy of that very important statement. And I so order in respect of this House over which I have jurisdiction.
Okay. You know, Senator Humphrey, I have done a lot of broadcasts with him sitting in the chair during the Senate sittings. And regardless of how you may feel about Senator Humphrey, that's not the issue here. When he has to take folks in the government to task, he does. He does. There are so many issues I've seen him bring up, which he may have found displeasing to him. And I have a lot of respect for that. I really do have a lot of respect for that. So hats off to Senator Humphrey. There's certain procedures that need to be followed, and if you're not going to follow them, I'm going to take you up on that. So says Humphrey. Okay? Okay, pilgrims. Let me take our first little break here. It's coming up on 9 minutes after 9 o'clock. We'll take a little break here, and we'll come on back with the National Report.
Hubbard's, bringing you Frigidaire Christmas cheer. With the purchase of any Frigidaire fridge, freezer, stove, washer, or air conditioning unit, you get a free 3-piece Frigidaire non-stick pot set. Come into our appliance department on the Carronage and Building Supplies Grandance to get your trusted Frigidaire products and enhance your cooking this Christmas. Offer available while stocks last. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Spread some cheer and show you care with GRENADABROADCAST Give-A-Wish promotion. Do you know someone who has had a challenging year and deserves some good fortune, or a worthy cause that needs extra support? Grant them a wish this holiday season with GRENLEC. Just pay your bill in full, then write their name, address, and phone number on the top portion of your bill. Add your phone number and drop it into the wish box at any of our GRENLEC customer centers, or you can enter online via our Facebook page. 15 customers will receive a $500 electricity voucher for giving a wish to someone who deserves it. And 15 winners will each have their wish granted, valued at up to $1,500. What's more, 230 lucky customers will win $75 electricity vouchers. Spread the cheer this year with GRENLEC's Give-A-Wish promotion. Visit our website or Facebook page for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Promotion ends December 21st.
Hello. Yeah, just before I fire up the national report, I want to ask for your help. I want to put a little plea out. I need some volunteers, Hey, you might be such a person, or if not, you may know such a person. You're very, very well aware that every weekday morning we try to have somebody on here who can just have a little tete-a-tete with me for about 10, 15 minutes. Hey, there are times we've been known to go for half an hour. But on Mondays, we had Beverly Sinclair for quite a while now. But as Beverly explained on Monday of this week, boy, she's got her hands full. And it's just not possible for her to be with us every Monday as she has been for so long now. So I need a replacement, if you will, for Beverly, okay? And I use that word replacement tongue-in-cheek because nobody could replace Beverly. So I need somebody for Monday who would join me here on Monday mornings, usually between 9:20, say 9:25 or so, 9:30, and chat with me about issues pertaining to the development of Grenada, things that you see that are really, really good and make you feel so good about this country and being a part of it. And if you have some criticisms or concerns, yeah, you can voice those as well. All you need to do is take a look at the other features. And by others, I mean on Tuesday mornings, we have Ray Roberts. Ray comes in here and talks with us about, things that are of national interest. And on Thursdays, well, do I need to tell you about this character, Alan Bashinsky? It's something that everybody looks forward to on a Thursday morning. Now, I would love to have, hopefully, a volunteer out of Carriacou, because the people of Carriacou, they've been complaining for goodness knows how long about sort of feeling left out, if you will. So if you know somebody from Carriacou and Petit Martinique as well, I would also love to have somebody from Petit Martinique. Hopefully, that person will have a smartphone or a laptop or a desktop, just like Alan and the others do. Beverly and Alan, Alan has never been in here for those programs. He uses his smartphone. And he's got a little camera on it, so we get to not just hear him, but see him. And the person needs to have one of those devices, an electronic device, whether it be a PC, a laptop, or whatever. Just have to put some software on it, free software, like Zoom or Skype, one of those. So yes, the person needs to be articulate, somebody who can carry on a conversation. And not just somebody who's coming here to bitch and whine about everything that's wrong in this country, but somebody who has a contribution to make to the development of this country. So if you are such a person, or you know of such a person, please go to the website, which you are at already this morning, and simply go to the Contact Us tab and send me an email. Or you can also WhatsApp me at 415-0631. I want to fill those slots. I need somebody on Monday, somebody on Wednesday, and somebody on Thursday. How about it? Let's talk about things of national interest, which will make this place a better place to live and work. Hence. Okay? Now, time to get into today's edition of the National Report.
Private sector welcomes government's decision to reduce personal income tax and corporate tax. Details to this story and more coming up in the National Report. Welcome back with the details to the news for Thursday, December 6th. I am Wendy Edmond. Private sector representative in the Senate, Christopher Diali, says they welcome government's decision to reduce personal income tax and corporate tax. During his presentation of the 2019 estimates on November 21st, Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, announced that at the start of the tax period in 2019, personal income tax will be reduced to 28% for income in excess of $5,000 per month, and corporate tax will also be reduced to 28%. The 2 percentage point reduction was one of the subjects addressed by Senator Diali during Thursday's meeting of the Upper House.
Prime Minister offered us 2% starting in 2019. We welcome it. Of course, it obviously means that some fiscal space allows it. We wanted more, but we got to take what we get.
While the sector is happy with the decision, Senator Diali is at the same time suggesting that the Inland Revenue Department pays more attention to assessment based on assets collected.
As we go after the professionals, the lawyers and others, that we will probably get right. And I know that the IRD has been working assiduously at this, Mr. President, to get things done. But I believe one of the things that they need to use in the arsenal a little more is assessment based on assets that you have accumulated. You see, we can't always depend on, and I know I'm saying that as a private sector person, I might get blows from my own constituents, but that's the reality. Grenada is bigger than all of us. The reality is that I, as a lawyer, doctor, send you a statement to the non-revenue department that says my income for the year is $1 million, but yet still have assets of $5 million. Let's reconcile that. And let's see how I have paid my fair share or not. And that is all I'm saying. We need to use a little more of what we have in our arsenal to address that problem.
Minister with responsibility for disaster management and information, Senator Honorable Dr. Winston Garwe, says a work to rule implemented by the Grenada Union of Teachers effective December 3rd is in effect a declaration of war by the President against the nation's students. The GUT is one of the unions at loggerheads with the Pension Engagement Committee over advanced payment of pension or gratuity. Making his contribution to the 2019 budget on Wednesday, Senator Garwe said it is disturbing that the union will involve students in the fight.
He has declared war. And all that the member there read a while ago, Mr. Deputy President, is an indication that you have lost a battle with your adults. And now, the smallest pawn in the fray, you're going to go after them. How? It's painful, very painful, that you would decide that the easiest target you will go after our children, our defenseless children who cannot stand up to you. Fight it out with the Pension Engagement Committee and the government. But by all means, please leave our children alone. Give them an opportunity to develop and to... You talk about going and study and coming up from university with your degrees and so forth. Why are you preventing those children from being developed?
Labour representative in the Senate, Andrew Lewis, spent much of his time explaining the issue from the standpoint of teachers and the public sector unions. But at the end of his presentation, he said they look forward to eventually resolving the issue.
We look forward to resolving this matter as we work in the interests of all of our people, and teachers and public officers are not greedy, but we are patriotic Grenadians who gives our service to the public service.
Following a meeting on November 27th, it was agreed that negotiations will resume on Friday, December 7th. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The safety on our roads make this a major priority. Health of our people, a crucial necessity. Accidents happen when road users are either irresponsible or inconsiderate in one way or the other. Play your part. Reduce your speed. Be attentive. It is your personal responsibility. Let 2017 be the start of no more road fatality. Be safe, be seen, be smart. So let's wise up as a nation. Get to your destination safe.
Welcome back. The Upper House of Parliament has passed the Road Traffic Amendment Bill. This bill seeks to amend the Road Traffic Act to establish the position of traffic warden and to empower traffic wardens to exercise specific powers currently exercisable by members of the police force. The bill also makes provision for improvement of the provisions relating to the Grenada Transport Board. It was brought before the House by Government Senator the Honourable Nolan Cox on Thursday.
Clause 10. Clause 10 provides for an amendment of Section 73 of the Principal Act to impose on cyclists, pedestrians, the obligation to comply with directions. Also, this is saying that if for some reason you have an accident in a particular area, and traffic wardens do have the power to detour the traffic in order to ensure that the traffic moves properly. So a number of powers have been given to our traffic wardens, and that in essence will alleviate some of the challenges that our police officers have to do every day. Bear in mind that they do an excellent job.
And finally in the news, the Honourable Senator Nolan Cox sought to bring some clarity to the relocation of the Hillsborough Port facility following negative perception in some circles. He told the meeting of the Upper House during his contribution to the 2019 budget that 80% of marine activity was already ongoing in the Tyrrell Bay Port before the commissioning of the new facility in Harveyvale. He pleaded for people to understand the negative effects the deteriorating Hillsborough jetty could have on port operations.
Mr. President, again, we have to look at it in the context of what is taking place, where we are, and if we want to take advantage of opportunities for development, we must take decisions. Mr. President, the Hillsborough jetty, I think, is probably about 20 years old. The jetty is significantly dilapidated. Based on assessment, what it would cost to construct, to rebuild the jetty, is what it will cost to demolish it. So let's just say if it costs $1 million to build a jetty, it's going to cost $1 million to demolish it. Now you invest that $1 million, you demolish it, and you spend another $1 million and put it back. What does that do? It does not create an opportunity for the port to expand and develop. You cannot land a container on the port in Hillsborough. The port building cannot go anywhere because the seawater is right there. There is no room for expansion, Mr. President. And if you are forward thinking and you're planning for development and you want Carriacou to move forward, we need to have a better facility.
Senator Cox says the new port facility is now adding to the economic development on the island. He believes while there are a few challenges, as time progresses, government will do its part to ensure that residents and port users are satisfied with the operations.
To believe that the investment that is made in Tyrrell Bay is one that is important, one that is significant, one that is timely. Whatever little challenges that exist, I know that the people of Carriacou are resilient. We are going to work those out, and we're going to solve that. Mr. President, having to stand in the sun and the rain and wait for the boat, or to run and to go to get off the boat, that has changed to a more comfortable fast. Mr. President, it's only improvement that I'm witnessing. So I believe that that is significant, and we need to continue to work with our stakeholders to ensure whatever little procedural challenges that they have, that can be addressed with the relevant authority.
And that's it for the National Report for today, December 6th, 2018. On behalf of all of us in the newsroom, I am Wendy Edmond, thanking you for viewing.
Okie dokie, folks. Good morning to those of you who are joining us a wee bit late this morning. Nice to see you. Better late than never. Let me say good morning to the folks on Facebook there this morning. T.F. Richards is saying good morning from Brooklyn, and Veronica Sandy is also checked in saying good morning, everyone. Now, Irene Rattan says, good morning, Patriots. The struggle continues. Hashtag we strive for 25%. So says Irene. And then she goes on in a subsequent post to say, in all my life, I have never seen a more dotish political climate in Grenada. Dotishness rules. I just learned a new word there this morning, dotishness. So says Irene. Lori Bridgman saying good morning to her brothers and sisters online with us this morning. And Lydia James is saying good morning, Grenada, from a cold Toronto. Yeah, my heart goes out to you, Lydia. T.F. Richards. Oh, by the way, TF, do you realize you're the only guy out there this morning on Facebook? Have a good day. He says, I applaud the traffic warden initiative. Once done correctly, it would be a worthwhile venture. Another place that we can see job creation is removing the traffic sign erection and painting from the RGPF and returning it to the Ministry of Works, thus allowing room for employment for others and better use of our policemen. TF, we kid you about being funny, but you know what? That's a very, very constructive suggestion there. And that, my dear friends, is the kind of stuff we need to see more of in Grenada. Constructive suggestions, okay? Fitzroy Adams says, good morning, George. Why these politicians are putting their pockets first before the education of our nation's children? You're asking why? Oh, honey. Okay, so I'll tell you what. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back with something from the recent sitting of the Senate. Yeah, it might disgust you, but it might also bring a smile to your face. Hang in there.
Why wish upon a star? For a bank is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas, will give you low interest and no fuss.
Co-op Bank is making Christmas wishes come true. Fix up your home, treat your loved ones, and get everything on your Christmas list this year with our no-fuss loans. As we count down the 12 days to Christmas, you can win awesome prizes every day. Special terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you.
With free island-wide delivery, Hubbard's Building Supplies and Lumber Departments continue to provide the best quality lumber, steel, tiles, plumbing materials, electrical, and general hardware supplies at competitive prices. We continually consult with builders, homeowners, and contractors to improve product range and services. Enjoy discounts where applicable, including the use of credit and debit cards. At Hubbard's Building Supplies, Grandance, and Lumber Department, Caranage, we offer quality service, affordable prices, giving you the convenient, reliable, free island-wide delivery. Call 440-2087 for all your home improvement and building solutions.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try their sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie. Now, those of you who have listened to me over the years know that I have been very unhappy with the caliber of debates which take place in our parliament. But I've kept on hoping for better days ahead. While I'm not really holding my breath, because I intend to live a little bit longer, nonetheless, I continue to be hopeful. I had hoped that with some new young faces in the Senate, we would see at least a step in the right direction. That is yet to come. At the recent sitting of the Senate, we saw more of the same old, same old. Apparently, one of the young senators used his presentation time to do more campaigning rather than dealing with the interests of the Grenadian people. He was rebuked by another youthful senator for doing that. That youth senator then proceeded to do the same thing, and eventually wound up being taken to task. You know, politics seems to attract a breed of people with the same mindset, same objectives. Destroy each other. It's kind of pathetic, isn't it? Really. One of the focal points of Senator Ron Redhead was the controversial Imani program. It was interesting to hear a youth analyze a youth program. Here are a few moments from his presentation to the Senate recently, as well as a few words about a new program which we're now hearing about from government. Check this out.
What is the Imani program doing to benefit the young people? No, I would ask this question. What is the relation between the Imani program and the youth unemployment rate? Where is the data to suggest that it has actually been improving the situation? We're hearing the announcements, we're hearing talk, we're hearing all the goodwill and all this so on, but what is its objective? That is not clear in Budget 2019. And in fact, let me just quote the minister again. And he stated, Mr. Speaker, up until recently, the government bore the cost of the Imani program, unquote. Now, again, this statement is the catalyst to suggest that this really and truly was a transfer payment. Government was just fighting to keep this program alive. The program essentially was living on its fat, and it is just something that they want to sustain, not because they are helping the young people. Because again, how many young people out of the program have received permanent employment? How many of them? What is the rate? What is the status? Nobody seems to know. All we keep hearing is more and more pronouncements. And let's couple that now. Let's look at that situation. So you're saying the business sector has to come on board to pay 50% of the stipend. But you keep expanding the program. You're saying that the farmers can't get benefits because they need to see it as a private sector initiative. They need to do their own thing. They need to become more creative, what have you. But here you have a situation where the government is actually increasing a program to which it can sustain. Then we had a question about fiscal responsibility and fiscal discipline only being applied to the workers. But when you have a situation like this, a transfer payment, this program does not have any data to suggest what is it achieving. But the government is fighting to keep it on. We believe in young people. We want to support young people. But it cannot be that you're setting up something on an unstable foundation and you expect it to survive. I would just like to say for the benefit of this house that a wise man built his house on a rock. Foolish man built his house on sand. While this program sounds good, there is no depth to this program. It's not really changing anything, and we must be honest about that. Now, in addition to this assistance or plea from the private sector, the government is launching a new program. It's called now the Empower Program. Okay, we accept that. We hear you. But I want to really ask the question. Again, you announced this program. It was launched in October of 2018. What is the objective of the program? And let me say this. It says here in the statement that the program was set up to specifically address the challenges facing our young men, unquote. That is all that it says. So the program was launched in October, and it was just set up to specifically address the challenges facing our young men. What is the objective of that? We see, Mr. Deputy President, this as something that could have been best applied under the Ministry of Social Development, not youth. You could have taken that money, and by the way, we don't know how much this program is costing. There was no mention, really. I would have to double-check the bigger budget, the bigger book to really and truly determine. But we don't really see an actual cost in the budget statement. But you announce it. So again, you're saying that you're doing things for the youth. Again, the objective is not clear. We don't know what the purpose of this is. We don't know, again, what will it really address. Specifically address the challenges facing our men. That's all it says. That's not sufficient. So if we are talking about advancing social development, if we are talking about transforming our economy, these things cannot happen in isolation. That is the real link that I'm trying to make. You cannot just announce these things because of words and then expect the public to digest it. And government alone must apply whatever measure it sees fit to determine how it's going to achieve such a program. So you're asking the young men to come on board. What do they do? How do they dress? Where do they go in order to sign up, to apply? What is the method? What sort of thing? Is this just another wing of the Imani program? The same Imani program which you announced that you can't pay for, and you're asking the private sector to make 50% of the stipends available to assist? This is not fiscal discipline. Why is it only being applied to the workers and the working people of the country? That is a real question, Mr. Deputy President, that we have to ask. Again, the issue with the Imani program itself and data, we have a serious challenge with that. I have made efforts in the past to find out a little on the program. And you know what was the funny thing? Every time I go for information, is either I get a story or some sort of thing. And I don't want to be rash to anybody because I have a very good relationship with people. And people who are doing their work, I don't challenge that. I'm a very, Mr. Deputy President, rational individual. But this is really and truly unacceptable. We cannot be announcing millions of dollars being spent on programs, we say, to transform the youth, and there is no clear objective. So again, we don't know if this program is set up to give a job or to be a job in itself. We don't know. We hear that it is for trainees. But training for what purpose? Is it a training for the private sector? This is what we are not clear on. So I hope this is some serious food for thought in relation to that. Because, Mr. Deputy President, we believe that Grenada needs a proper youth, human resource, and job training development program. A proper one. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I visited the National Training Agency on more than one occasion. We discussed a number of things related to skill development in the country. But what is apparent, in my view, is there seems to be some disconnect and mismatch. So here we have a program with either employable youth who are unemployed or young people who are underemployed, some of who are skilled already, but they still come into a training program. But you have a large section of the youth population unskilled and are not able to tap into the program. So we discussed in detail some serious initiatives that we believe can help. And one of the things that I want to recommend is the national conversation for the NTA, the private sector, trade unions, and even the government, to form some sort of collaboration to really and truly, once and for all, come up with a program to help in this regard. This program, the Imani, is insufficient. While we respect the need for the government to invest in training for the youth, it must not see it just to invest the resources into oblivion, and we don't see that the country itself is getting value for it. So, Mr. Deputy President, we have that as a serious challenge. I really, really, really want to stress that, because I think throughout the number of years, even going before 2008, the New National Party has always been just using this program for politics. And I want to be very clear. If, in fact, we are engaged in fiscal management, fiscal discipline, no government official must see the need to use the country's resources just to be buying votes. I want to make that absolutely clear, because this, Mr. Deputy President, must tie into the position that I want to raise. Now, I see in the Prime Minister's ministry that $6 million was budgeted, right? Now, that is grant funding. We respect that. $6 million was budgeted for the period 2008. In this budget statement, it said that, in fact, $9 million was spent in his ministry, the Office of the Prime Minister, a non-productive ministry, right? Even if we are getting free money, even if we are getting whatever the thing is, I do not understand what the Office of the Prime Minister is doing with that large amount of monies. And we continue to monitor this situation because, in fact, the last time we raised the question, we were told...
A point of order, Chair.
It's a point of order.
A point of order. Allowed the conversation to roll to see where the senator on the other side is going. But what is being done is imputing improper motive. He's taken this conversation far too far now, implying that the Imani program is politically based. We've just heard presentations on this side going through the content of that program. Now the conversation is raising up to the Prime Minister's office with regard to the intent of this program. Buying votes. Buying votes. That statement needs to be withdrawn, Mr. Deputy President. That statement needs to be withdrawn. The senator on the other side has taken this conversation far too far. We've given him latitude. He is out of order, Mr. Deputy President. I want that statement withdrawn.
Mr. Deputy President, I respect the right of the leader of government's business to raise this point, but I have not imputed anything. I have not. This is, in fact, a fact. And I am not trying to say that that is the objective. I have said in the budget statement, there is no clear objective set out for the Imani program. What is the purpose? This is the question that I am trying to ask for the benefit of this House.
Mr. Deputy President, his comments were very clear as to what he believed the motive was. Buying votes. He's smiling, Mr. Deputy President. He knows exactly what he said. He knows exactly what he is imputing. That statement needs to be withdrawn. There is a clear purpose to the program, clear objectives. It's a defined program that has been running for the last 6 years, that you have skilled persons, opportunities created, highly legitimate, highly valuable program. Statements that he is making completely false, and he is imputing improper motive behind that. The statement needs to be withdrawn, Mr. Deputy President. And what I'm hearing, read the script I'm hearing, sounded very much like an argument I heard on the television just a few nights ago on MTV. So some of the arguments that are based behind that are kind of a little suspect. That statement needs to be withdrawn, Mr. Deputy President.
Senator Redhead, based on what I'm seeing here, and I'm just trying to read the standing orders, I will have to ask you to revise your statement.
Well, Mr. Deputy President, I so do accept, and I am sorry for saying that the intent of the program is to buy votes. I am sorry for saying that. So I withdraw it, right? I do apologize. So, Mr. Deputy President.
Leader of the House Business, are you okay with the statement?
I want to hear a very clear statement from him in terms of what statement he made and his withdrawal of that statement, because it's false and incorrect. I want no ambiguity in his response.
Leader of Government Business, I think the statement that he has made is fine. He has withdrawn the well, not the statement, but he has drawn the meaning. Yeah. Yeah.
I saw him smile on his face.
Well, Leader of Government Business, I think I would just ask him to proceed because he has made an attempt to, and I think that is sufficient at this point in time.
Okay, folks. Okay. If you're wondering why I'm smiling, those of you who were watching the live broadcast this morning noticed that just as we were about to begin the presentation by Senator Ron Redhead, we lost our contact with Facebook. You saw that, actually. Just before we do, it started buffering, and Veronica Sandy on there said, okay, here we go with the buffering. Okay? Well, eventually we lost contact with Facebook. But for those of you who are watching us now, know that we record every one of our programs. And once the internet is fine, we do upload those recordings to both Facebook and YouTube. Meanwhile, I'm hoping that those of you, let me take a quick look here and see, for those of you on the other platforms who are with us this morning, let me see how you guys are doing out there. I see somebody out there in Madrid, Spain, North York, Ontario, Brooklyn, New York, Delray Beach in Florida, Miami, Florida, Zurich, Switzerland, Germany is there, Kingstown, St. Vincent. Folks, keep praying, keep praying. So that's it. You can watch now that you're watching the recording, you can hear what Senator Redhead had to say. Let me take another quick little break here, and then we'll come on back and wrap it up.
Grenadian General Insurance Company, strength and stability. Grenadian General Insurance Company, tell your friends, tell your family. We cover householders comprehensive, motor and even fire too. Contractors all risk burglary, public liability, professional indemnity, directors liability, and wait, we still have more. Come and find out more what you're waiting for.
We are located on
on Scott Street, St. George's. For more information, call 440-2434. Tell everybody.
Why wish upon a star? For a bank is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas, will give you low interest and no fuss.
Co-op Bank is making Christmas wishes come true. Fix up your home, treat your loved ones, and get everything on your Christmas list this year with our no-fuss loans. As we count down the 12 days to Christmas, you can win awesome prizes every day. Special terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you.
Spread some cheer and show you care with GRENADABROADCAST Give a Wish promotion. Do you know someone who has had a challenging year and deserves some good fortune, or a worthy cause that needs extra support? Grant them a wish this holiday season with GRENLEC. Just pay your bill in full, then write their name, address, and phone number on the top portion of your bill. Add your phone number and drop it into the wish box at any of our GRENLEC customer centers, or you can enter online via our Facebook page. 15 customers will receive a $500 electricity voucher for giving a wish to someone who deserves it. And 15 winners will each have their wish granted, valued at up to $1,500. What's more, 230 lucky customers will win $75 electricity vouchers. Spread the cheer this year with GRENLEC's Give a Wish promotion. Visit our website or Facebook page for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Promotion ends December 21st.
Folks, here I am. Life's a journey. Sometimes a pretty long one. It's not unusual to sometimes feel left alone along the way. In some cases, maybe lost. I hope the following words will be a source of encouragement for you, as they have been for me. As you know, I could write a book. The quote I'm going to leave you with this morning comes from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, just one single verse. Verse 8. Deuteronomy 31, verse 8. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Once again, Deuteronomy 31, verse 8. Yeah. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Nothing goes unseen with him. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me this morning. Now, I also want to extend an invitation to you to join us on Sunday morning for the next edition of Sundays with George Grant, starting at 9 o'clock. We will be hearing some more excerpts from what transpired in the Senate this past week. And in addition to that, we're also going to be hearing a conversation between the president of the Grenada Bar Association, a lady by the name of Lisa Taylor, and Mr. Leon Taylor. I'm not sure they're related. I don't know if there's any relation, but they're both Taylors, Lisa and Leon. And they're coming in here to talk about the state of the court system in this country. Actually, Leon recently had a two-part article which he had published. It was titled Seeking Justice in Grenada. Okay? So, folks, please join us on Sunday morning. Gonna be interesting. Gonna be interesting. And I certainly hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day as well. And as always, I send you God's blessings. Peace.